Hello, greetings everyone. So welcome to the new new event for dedicated towards the just displaying what's the latest and the greatest within EVO. So today we'll be discussing Luxriot EVO version 1.21. So this will be a brief review. I will start with some few slides, and I believe we will follow up with the I believe we will follow up with the some demonstration, of course, because you would like to see everything, that not just the release notes. Okay, so let's begin. And as I said, there will be just few slides, and then I will switch on towards the actual applications to just show what's there. Okay, so we will start with the cyber and general security tools, which we've got released. This actually was one of the main focuses for our development towards this release. And it starts with the cybersecurity assessment tool, which can be found at the in console at the very top right in the menu. So we will see how it works in just a few seconds. I will continue with some few other slides, and then we will switch on for the actual hands-on. So here we go. The other great add-on towards the cybersecurity is just two-factor authentication. So previously we've been relying solely on the Windows capabilities towards this, but now EVO has the inbuilt two-factor authentication. We will see how it works in just a few seconds. Then another nice addition towards the cybersecurity and general security overall is the support for the AES 256 kilobit encryption. So it's applicable not only for the client server connection, so not only end-to-end -end, but also includes the additional encryption for the storage, according to the recent requirements from some of the government entities, but it greatly improves the cyber resistance overall. And some nice additions to the audit. Now, audit allows us not only to see what's the certain users been doing, but also to track who's been doing what with some particular resources. And there's also been a couple of new events added towards the audit logging. So now it includes also the any sort of changes with the EVO video analytics settings. And there are some more details on the disconnection, why the disconnection of a certain server has happened. But let me jump towards the console. So, as I started, I mentioned the cybersecurity. So here in the top right, in the menu, you can find the cybersecurity. If you click over there, it provides you with the nice display of the certain dashboards. Okay, what do we have here? First of all, it has 4 actual security levels starting from none. So that means I don't care about cybersecurity at all, so it's not my problem, towards the low. So when we switch towards the any other level of the cybersecurity settings, it provides you with some suggestions what has to be done in order to meet these security level requirements. So low means the like the generic standalone NVR, so pretty much the same. So I don't care much about the cybersecurity, but I definitely don't want everyone, so my cat and my wife, to get an access to my video footage. But if I will switch towards the medium level of cybersecurity, which is somewhat acceptable for the for the system not connected to the internet, I will definitely see that I got some actual issues in here. So some of the configuration has been missing, and in on the lower section of this cybersecurity checking tool, you will see what has to be done in order to meet this level of security, and some of the options where we've got some problems, they've been indicated in here. If I will switch towards the high level of cybersecurity, which I I would definitely recommend to everyone. Okay, so we've got like 17 issues on my demo system. Sorry for that. I was not been really following the cybersecurity rules for the demo purposes. But here we've got the indications. Okay, so what does this mean? So where I can find those settings and so on. Okay, if I will switch this tool towards the high level of cybersecurity and just click OK, I will immediately see those orange indicators in here, which provides me with suggestions. Okay, with the servers, I've got the problem with my server setup. If I will just double click, okay, here we go. 2 issues with the connections. First of all, I have to enable client to server connection encryption, say AS256. I have to also to enable the HTTPS to meet the criteria. With the storage, okay, some issues with the storage properties. In here, we've got some of the issues with the settings of this storage. Security policy, yeah, so it does not meet the requirements. So the minimum password length has to be, okay, if you would just hover your mouse over those nice orange shields icon. So it provides me with a suggestion. So the minimum password length has to be 12 characters, minimum number of special symbols, different other settings. So it's all self-explanatory. So you've got the always have the short short help. So what has to be changed? And definitely I have to enable two-factor authentication. So now we moving to exactly this particular feature. First of all, just be careful with enabling two-factor authentication right out of the bat, because there's a chance if you messed up with these certain settings, you can block even your admin account. So this is why we've got this safety checkbox in here, skip for localhost connection, just in case if you messed up with the two-factor authentication and just forgot your password, or you made the wrong settings, you'll still be able to connect to your server locally in order to change those settings. But from this release, and this will be extended for the different options. So at the moment, the only option is the two-factor authentication via email. So you can set your email as you do with your regular email messaging. So I won't stop in no exact details. So it just to indicate where it is. You have to make the proper setup, click OK in order to save the settings. If there will be some issues with those settings, you will get the notification, so you have to change something. And if you didn't get these warnings, so everything works fine, then I would suggest to enable two-factor authentication. Okay, and okay, let's get back to this. As for the connections, as I said there, in the setup for the connections, there's also the client server connection encryption, which can be enabled. So in my case, it's none, but you can enable 128 or 256 encryption, and definitely enable HTTPS. And the same comes for the storage. The storage should have the encryption enabled in here. You can see the settings, so I can enable the additional encryption for my storage, which is not encrypted at the moment. Okay, as for the audit, I mentioned the couple of things that haven't been present before. If we go to the users, here we can define the filters. And here's the trick. So we can select users. So what one of my users has been doing with the system, so everything. Or I can select a resource. So who had access to the camera 1 and who changed its settings so it just stopped recording. I can add this particular resource and just to submit the query. Okay, so now I can see who's been doing what with my camera 1. So who had the access to the live video stream? Who had the access to the archived data? Who've been changing some of the video analytics settings? So everything is now trackable, not only by the particular user, but also by a particular resource. So in here, in the right hand, I've got everything. So all my resources. Okay, so I will answer the questions right after I will finish with the presentation. So don't hesitate to put them in the chat. But as of now, I will continue with the slides. Sorry for that. The other major change happened with our EVO video analytics. First of all, we added some new detection engines or analytics engines. And it's now include not only 3 options for the regular security detection, but also includes the personal protective equipment detector, which means hard hats and high visibility vests. So it's been implemented. As for the licensing, it will be available shortly. At the moment, we say it's in the beta stage. So just test licenses available, but I believe in few weeks we will proceed this into the final release. So there will be no changes on the software side by itself. It will be the changes just on the licensing, how it works. And each detector has the nice nice button called options. And these options, it now includes the GPU support. The GPU support based on CUDA, so which is the NVIDIA technology, and it definitely has some certain requirements. So the really old GPUs won't work with this. But if you have the at least generation 1 RTX and above, so everything should be fine. Just with different capabilities. So I will show you later on how it works and where to find this setting. The other major changes happened to the video analytics in terms of the new settings, so new rules and add-ons to the rules. First of all, we added a couple of settings in here for properties of the zone or the counter or the line. And the setting is called object presence time and object absence time. So what does it mean? So object presence time means you can now do loitering without doing anything. You can do loitering detection, so you just have to specify the exact amount of seconds, how long the object has to be present in the zone in order to create an alarm. Say if someone will be just passing by, okay, so there will be no detection, and if the object stays in the zone for longer than the specified period, you will get the detection. So that literally means loitering. And the same with the object absence time. So if someone will just remove your security guard, so your object will be missing. And the other add-on in here, the zone intersection by object threshold. So that means the object is partially crossing the zone. So when you draw your area of detection, some of the objects can be just partially crossing the zone. So in order to get rid of some false alarms and so on, so you can also play a bit with this setting. And there are some cosmetical changes, but really important ones. So you can now change the opacity level for zones and counters. So from being totally transparent towards the totally opaque. And the same happens with the analytics metadata. So the analytics overlay, so bounding boxes can now be 100% transparent. So I can show you how it works. Okay. And there are some other changes on the metadata side, somehow related to EVA, EVA video analytics, but also affects all the integrated video analytics technologies. We added some new sections on the monitoring side. So there's now the new field called value. So if an external metadata source, say camera with the inbuilt LPR, provides us with the metadata. So now we can filter by this metadata. Doesn't really matter what the source is. So it can be a number plate, number, person's name, or whatsoever, the color of the car, if the external metadata source provides us with these settings. And some minor change there. We also added the channel name for the micro text is, but this is not that significant. Let me get back to my console and get to the channels. Okay, let's start with this one. So I will open the channel, go towards the video analytics. I've got the server-side video analytics enabled. Okay, and here we now can select the detector. Detector has 4 options. So personal protective equipment detector, it's pretty much obvious. You should have a license to use it. As for the regular EVA licenses, now we have 3 options. 3 detectors, 300 by 300, 520 by 512 by 512, and 1024 by 600. So what that means, this is the resolution of the neural network. So the greater the resolution of the neural network, the smaller the objects can be detected, the more accurate will be the detection. But yes, so there's a trade-off. It will consume more resources. So now we have the 3 options. So object detector 300 by 300. So the very basic one consumes quite little amount of the processing power, but it's quite useful. So if your application is just counting people in front of the entrance to the store, okay, this will be fine. So on the closer distances, it will work pretty well, and it won't require that much resources. The top one, 1024 by 600, definitely provides way better level of detection for the smaller objects, more complex environments, and so on, but definitely will consume much more resources. So mind your application. And the one with 512 by 512 is just something in the middle. And each detector has its options. If we click over here, now we can choose the GPU device that will handle this particular neural network. In my case, I've got just one GPU, so I can disable it, of course, but I want to run this on my GPU. There's some couple of other settings, so you can allocate more memory for the CUDA cores, and you can allow the GPU memory growth if just in case your setup is fluctuating, so the scene is highly dynamic. Okay, so that's pretty much it with the new detectors. And the other two settings in here are with the zones or with any other things which you create, so security rules. If I create a zone, now I've got first of all the opacity of the zone, so I can make it 100% transparent, so it'll be just outer area of the zone, so it will be invisible, or I can make it visible towards the fully opaque. So I will make it slightly visible. And the other thing, yes, so the object presence time in seconds. By default, it's 0. So if the object enters the zone, it will immediately cause an alarm. And the object absence time, so if the object leaves the zone, again, it will immediately cause an alarm. In my case, I added just 1 second to each other in order to create a bit of loitering scenario. So if those guys will be fast passing by, they won't be detected, so there will be no loitering in here. Okay, let's get to the actual Andring app and see how it works. So here's the engine. So as you can see, the guy's been properly detected. They're approaching towards my zone. And as I said, I have the settings setting for just I had a setting that provides the detection only when the loitering event happens. Okay, so the guys have to stay within the zone for more than 1 second. Just let them be there. Okay, and yeah, here we go. Here's our loitering detector, so it says that the zone been violated. Okay, this is quite useful setting. And the other thing that I just almost forgot to mention, in the usability settings in your monitor, you can now decide how transparent will be the bounded box. So if I will just move it towards, okay, so fully opaque, or I can make this fully transparent, which this is the one which I prefer, just lightweight. Okay, let's get back to the slides. So some new add-ons towards the metadata processing. So, and this is add-ons on the console side, and these new options called tags and subjects, and those are affecting LPR and facial recognition. Doesn't matter our own or external. Now we have a chance to manage those tags and subjects within the console. And the other important add-on we've been asking for a lot, the buttons, so-called wildcards. What does it mean? So it has two options. So we can specify the star mark. Star mark means any string of text of any length, or we can put the question mark. Question mark means any one symbol. Let me get back to the console, jump towards my events and actions. So first of all, in here, the two new things, tags and subjects. So now I can create a tag, which is actually a tag or a list, whatever list. And as you can see, it can be assigned to the LPR or to the FR or to both of them. So now it just provides a natural way to connect a certain person with a certain vehicle, or a certain group of persons with a certain group of vehicles. Say now we can connect company cars with company personnel. And the same goes with the subjects. Okay, so I have to create the subject first, and I can now assign subjects towards this tag. And if I go to the subject, so we've got new two options in here, new LPR subject or new FR subject. LPR subject means the vehicle, of course. And here we have the button. Say, what if our company cars have the number plate starting with ABC, but there are 4 other digits in the number plate? I can place it like this. So this tag, this will be the group of subjects or the number plates starting from ABC and having 4 random digits after the ABC. Or I'm not sure how many digits will be there, but the number plate should end with ABC again. So I just put the asterisk in here and then ABC. So that will mean this subject or the group of subject will include everything, all the number plates which end with ABC. It doesn't matter how many digits are before the ABC. Or ABC is just somewhere in the middle. Okay, here we go. So all the number plates which holds ABC somewhere in the middle of the number will be this type of subjects. And of course, I can mask it. So this button will be used as a mask, so it will include all the numbers. Okay. The next one. Now we jump towards the less exciting stuff. So some improvements on the export and reporting. So now you can export the videos that will not only include developed images, because before we had an issue that from the fisheye cameras we will be able just to export just raw image. Now you can export the developed images, and it also includes all the video analytics metadata overlays. So all the bounding boxes whatsoever can be exported when you choose any sort of VP8 or JPEG compression as well. The other important thing that's when you work with the alarm panel, so you know that your operators can add some comments on the different events. And now when you make an export of your precious bookmarks into the comma separated, so in the Excel format, all those commands will also be included, so you can see and you can track everything what's been done with your events by your operators just in one single report. The backend has some significant improvements, especially when it comes to the metadata processing. Unfortunately, the backend is not visible anyhow to anyone, but it's a very significant improvement in order to be more universal processing engine for the metadata. So now we've got the dedicated database towards the external video analytics. What it means, if you've got any sort of external system, external video analytics application connected to our to EVO, and that external video analytics just suddenly goes crazy, starts streaming, I don't know, unbelievable amounts of metadata, it won't just overfill the regional EVO database, so EVO will continue to work as intended. But yeah, but it will definitely fill their external database for their external video analytic. But again, so their external application created a problem, so that will be the problem of their external application, so it won't affect their general application performance. And the other nice add-on, which again, so it goes to the mostly for the backend, all the processing of the bounded boxes, frames, and overlays for the video analytics engines, doesn't matter our own or external, has been moved into the separate host process. So it means it can be offloaded into the GPU as you saw, or it provides the much more optimized handling for the actual CPU resources. The other things, I didn't know how to name this exactly. So first of all, the HTTPS messaging support for the send external HTTP request in the events and actions. That means, yeah, now you can communicate straightforward with any sort of the messengers like Telegram or Signal or whatever you would like to use. So this provides us with a direct method of communication with those messengers bots. I believe shortly I will provide some guidance on how to create the say Telegram bot and how to send the feed it with the information directly from EVO. So you can have your nice alarm handling Telegram bot. Viewport rendering, so this has been important for video walls, especially where they have the huge displays and there's definitely the certain scale factor. Now all the timestamps, errors, or anything of the textual metadata of the video screen. So it's also now respects the scale factor and scales accordingly. Some fire extinguishers icons been added to the maps. So why it is there? Okay, it will come shortly after, probably in the next minor release. You will see why this is important. And the watchdog settings, so the memory usage ratio default value been changed to 95%. Yes, so the modern systems have much more RAM than before, and 95 is kind of okay. In general, with the console, so now console runs much faster, especially on the overloaded systems. Overloaded systems, I mean tens of thousands cameras. Before it took like up to a minute to upload the console, but now it uploads much faster. So yeah, so some improvements on their huge systems. And some housekeeping items, so I won't pay much attention on those. So keep device selection when copying device in console. So when you create a copy of device, so it keeps the selection, so you see exactly what you have been copying. Total stream duration for the storage monitoring. So some admin side just for the administration purposes. More precise archive duration for the monitoring in console, so it means the data duration. You can now enable or disable recording service reset when restoring the central server configuration from the backup visit. Yeah, just in case you had some issues or you want to restore your central server configuration from console, you can now choose, would you like to restore also the settings for the recording servers, or you would like to keep them, because oftentimes your recording servers are pretty fine, so you just have to do something with the central server only. And then it auto refresh for the monitoring in console. Yeah, so if you if you're doing the system monitoring in console, definitely you want to the actual data to be displayed without pressing any refresh buttons. And Finally, some new integrations and cameras. First of all, we integrated the FF Group LPR video analytics. So now it's for robotics cameras only, but the others like Axis and Anwa will follow up shortly. So now it's fully integrated and interoperable with our system. We added some new 31 new camera models for VivoTech. Added 3 devices from Axis, so relay model, the network horn speaker, and the Siren, and some a couple of other cameras, one from GANS, one from ANPA, and the a bunch of long-range thermal cameras from DAN Security. But this is more for the border applications. Okay,